everybody. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen. The Raiders lose their first game of the season at home, the home opener on Monday Night Football, 20-9 to the Chargers. Really quick, just if you could sum up the loss.
It was an electric atmosphere there.
Yeah.
I mean, just Raider Nation really showed itself out. But today, just the Chargers were a better football team today, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Not our best. Not our best. Turning the football over. We came off a game last week against the Patriots, took care of the football. Today we came out here, lost the turnover battle. It's tough to win when you do that.
All right, but some things to build on to talk about it. Let's go out to Allegiant Stadium and welcome in Devin White. And Devin, we really appreciate you joining us after this loss. And if you could sum up kind of what went wrong from your side of the ball, what are some things to work on?
I think we just got to be a little more sound. You know, we always preach do your 111, and we just had just like a couple small glimpses of, you know, somebody thinking that it was going to be something just rather than just playing their technique, you know, and, you know, we just off script just a little bit, and it'll cost you when you're going against a good team, good quarterback, good coach, you know, and I think that's what got us. You know, if we could have limited those couple plays, you know, we would have been right in there, but we can't dwell on what happened. We just got to go out there and just try to make up for it, and that's what we did. You know, we kept fighting hard, and we just kept trying to get the ball back to the offense.
Devin, how good is Patrick Graham? Because the first 2 weeks, man, y'all playing some defense now. Y'all stopping the run. You know, y'all creating some takeaways. Obviously, like you said, we always going to remember the couple plays that we gave up, the shot plays that y'all gave up. But other than that, defensively, you know what I mean, y'all putting together, you know, some good games, man. Talk to us a little bit about Patrick Graham.
Yeah. Coach PG, man, he's a mastermind. He called himself a nerd. He always spending time in the building when everybody's sleeping and resting. He's always working. And it just shows credit to the hard work that he putting in. The defense is following his lead, and he making football fun for the entire group. And, you know, we got a lot of personnel, and we working with what we got. And we just going out there making plays, staying together, you know, just trying to create opportunities for our offense, because at the end of the day, we got to play complementary football, you know, for those guys. And even when something bad happened and they not playing their best, we still got to be there for them, and we got to help them out.
Yeah, man, you're off to an amazing start so far this NFL season. Talk to us about what it's like for a middle linebacker to have to bring both the front and the back end together.
I mean, it's really hard, but, you know, I like to do hard things. I like to challenge myself. I've been doing it for a while now. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And I love playing with these guys, man, since OTAs and mini camp and training camp, man. We just grew a bond like no other. You know, it's a lot of different personalities on the team. A lot of new guys came in the building. A lot of hungry guys came in the building. And we trying to make it shake, man. So at the end of the day, we just trying to have that swagger that, you know, can't nobody mess with us when we step out there and just have fun. I think people starting to see it. And, you know, the more we play complementary football, the more both sides will get to shine, you know, because at the end of the day, this thing just is going to go as far as we as a team make it go. But, you know, as far as myself, I'm just happy to be here, and blessed that they gave me the opportunity. And I'm just trying to make the most of it, and I'm just trying to be a great leader and a great teammate for Raiders.
Devin, I'll tell you, one of the positives was the red zone defense, holding the Chargers 1 for 3 in the red zone, and 2 were some really big stands, especially to have a short field there, try to stop after the interception on the very first drive, the very first time you guys go out there. What does that say? What did you guys kind of learn about yourselves in those big moments that you came up big twice in the game when your bell was called?
I think the most thing we learned is that we relentless, and we always talked about bending but never breaking. And I know that's probably a lot of people's mentality, but we really went out there and displayed it and showed people like what it means. You know, it's kind of easier to stay in the game when you're only giving up 3 instead of 7. So man, we can build off that. Like you said, there's always positive in the bad things, so that's something we can build off. You know, we really work hard on red zone. We do a lot of meeting together, and we just try to be tied in, because if somebody do get down there, man, we want to keep the points down, and we really preach that. So at the end of the day, man, just a testament to our hard work and to the coaching staff for just putting us in the right position and just making sure we going over everything and being spot on.
Also, third down defense as well. So a lot of good things that we saw. And the one thing we did know is there's no quit in this defense. We can't wait to see how you bounce back against the Commanders next week. Thanks, Devin, for spending some time with us.
I appreciate you. Yeah, we're going to be better. We're going to be way better than tonight. We're going to have more energy, more swag, fly around and get to it.
No doubt about it. We appreciate it. Thanks, Devin.
Thank you, my man.
All right. Well, Pete Carroll is at the podium speaking right now. So let's go out and see what the head coach had to say about the matchup.
With that what that really feels like is a real missed opportunity. Just in general, Monday night was just part of that, but in the division, it was a real opportunity, and we didn't play well enough on the offensive side with the turnovers that add up. That'll be what you talk about and all, but it really we didn't play well enough, and they covered us up pretty good. I'm anxious to see the film. I was surprised that they did such a nice job on defense, on pass defense against us. We came out of it okay as far as getting banged up. Happy about that. Really like what's going on in the defense. Couple second halves here, just terrific D, and we're going to need that to play together. But we know we missed the opportunity, and there's so many different ways that we'll get better. And so we got to go back to work really quickly and get ready for this game coming up.
Pete, I know you say it's easy to look at the turnovers, but we got to look at the turnovers. Three interceptions by the quarterback. That's usually a non-starter. Anything that you could put your finger on that?
Yeah, well, he took a couple shots. He threw a couple bombs down there, and one of them was on about the 2, and the other one was in the end zone. I think, if that's right. Yeah, the reason that he got there because we had time to hold the football, so we protected okay, and we didn't get the ball thrown underneath. That's what I wish we would have done. I wish we would have not taken those shots. And they looked a little like we had to score quick or something. I don't feel like that when we play is the way that we should ever play. But so we got to take what's there, and we got to take a look at the film. And I got to see why that happened like that. Just surprised. We haven't looked like that at all at any time. So it's the first time that came up.
Pete, Geno tonight a couple of times obviously looked like he was limping. Did his health have anything to do with that performance?
No, he was all right. I mean, he took off and ran and made some yards too. There was a little something from last week, but it wasn't bothering him. He was okay. He made it through all the tests and all of that. So I think he'll feel more confident, as he goes out again, comes back, but maybe push it. But I don't think that was a big issue tonight.
Pete, two-parter, if you would. If we can go back to your first answer on Geno and the picks, just in general, overall, his decision-making tonight, your thought process, and I know you said he had to take, or he took a couple of shots, whether he wanted to or not, but just the overall of his decision-making. And second, with Brock Bowers coming in banged up, little limited, did that play a role in play calling and maybe adjustments in terms of targeting?
I got to talk to Chip about that. If we were concerned about him. He only practiced one day during the week, and he seemed okay and all that, but you saw us go to him more in the second half because he survived the first half and made it through it. I thought like we were impatient with the throwing game, and that's why the ball went down the field so far, and I don't think we needed to do that. And so, but again, I don't want to talk too much until I see the film about the specifics of that. But it's disappointing. I know that the picks are a big issue, but that's not my concern. My concern is why we didn't get the ball thrown and caught underneath, and we wound up taking those shots.
Pete, first drive of that second half, 11-plus minutes, I think 5 third-down conversions. What did you like on that drive, and how did that mirror what you guys worked on?
Yeah, we were 50% on third down in this game, and that should generally get you a chance to hold the football and move it. Well, I thought we converted well, and that's what happened. Did you say there was 5 third downs on that drive? Yeah. Well, that's what happened on that drive, and there were 3rd and 5s, and I think we might have hit a 3rd and longer than 11 or 12 one time. Jacoby did a great job making his plays and his catches. So we're capable of throwing the ball like that, and we're capable of being that kind of showing that kind of consistency. We have to stay patient, and I think it felt like it felt like we were impatient at times in this game.
Pete, less than 20, right over here, Pete.
I'm sorry.
Less than 20 carries tonight for Ashton Genty. Any reason why I haven't been able to heavily feature him? And is that something you want to, get going?
We're just getting started. We're just getting started. He's breaking into the NFL. He's figuring it out. When he had 11 or something carries tonight, is that what he had? 11, yeah. He'll get more. That'll come. We're going to have to run the football better than we did, more effectively. We got to get more yards. We had 50 or 60 yards or something rushing. That's not enough. We got to get more than that. So. I'd like to see that just as well as you would, but as far as pushing the issue with him, trying to get him 25 carries or something like that, we're breaking him in, and so that'll come. Yeah.
Pete, your first home game here, the fans were allowed. I'd just like to get your impressions of Allegiant Stadium as
I thought the crowd was excellent. I thought that was a fantastic crowd, and they were a factor, and you could feel them. They rose to the big occasions when we needed them to. We needed to give them more to cheer about and get ahead in this game so we could feel what that would be like. But I thought it was a really good showing, and it felt like a real home game with an advantage. So I was really pleased about it. I didn't know what to expect, so I was really pleased with that.
Hey Pete, you mentioned it a couple times earlier in these earlier comments when Geno was when he turned the ball over. He was throwing the ball on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 15 after either a neutral or a negative play right ahead of it. How do you build more balance on 1st and 2nd down?
Yeah, we didn't feel like there was consistency, and that's part of the question about the running game being kind of in the middle of all of that. But what happened tonight? Geno's a 70% guy, and I don't know, he wasn't that tonight, and the more so was because of the attempts that we made. I thought that took away from that, and we just got to take what's given to us. I'm not sure that that's the case until I see the film, but I bet that's what it is.
Coach, great work on the offense, or I'm sorry, on the defensive side today as well.
Could you raise your hand?
Sorry,
the
right
lights
here
are
in the
set, so I
center.
can't find you. Okay.
Great movement here on the defensive side. What are your thoughts on the big plays you guys made late in the game to give yourself some hope?
Yeah, I think this is a defense that's going to come together and continue to be really difficult on our opponents. The running game has not been the issue at all. We've been able to get some rush. We've made some plays. Our corners made some nice plays tonight. You got to give credit to Justin Herbert. He's a really good player, and he made good decisions and good choices. And when he had his open guy, he made the big play. That was just a crushing play because it was an easy play for us to defend, and we just got caught up a little bit and misread the big corner route that the guy ran. But other than that, I thought the whole night was good defense. I thought they rose to the occasions. I think it was 4 for 13 or 14 on 3rd downs, big time there. The running game wasn't there. We had a couple sacks. And we made some plays, So I think that's a big positive side of what we've shown here in the first couple of weeks, that those guys can go. We got to keep it going. What just happened doesn't mean nothing. What are we going to do now? That's what's going to count. So we got to come back against the Commanders and get rolling.
Pete, right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Geno is someone has the utmost confidence in his arm. He's willing to throw the ball and sometimes in double, triple covers. But is there a time where you kind of have to pull him to the side and say, "Hey, we can't"?
Yeah, it felt like that tonight. That's right. It felt like that tonight, and he had a lot of time back there. He had a chance to look and see. Didn't like what he saw underneath, and gave those guys some shots down the field, which he's tremendous at doing, basically. So I'm not supporting some of the choices there. I need to see what happened though. I want to see if he had other options that we could have got the ball out of his hands. So he'll play. He's been a 70% guy for the last 4 or 5 years. He'll be right back at it, just like he was last week.
Pete, there was a report that Tom Brady meets 3 times a week or so with Chip Kelly, goes over film with them. We saw him up in the booth with a headset on. I just was curious your thoughts on that level of participation with Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not accurate. We have conversations. I talk to Tom. Chip talks to Tom regularly. I mean, we have a tremendous asset, and so and we all get along well, and we respect each other, and so we just talk, about life and football and whatever it comes, and he has great insight. So we're lucky to have him as an owner.
You guys all set? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
We're going to step aside here on Raiders Game Day. When we come back, more on the defensive performance. Came together today. We're going to point it out when we come back. Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Modelo, a reward for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. And by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back. The Raiders lose this one 20-9 to the Chargers on Monday Night Football. And one of the positives was the defensive performance. If you look at the statistics, and I didn't tell you the score of the game, for the defense, you would think this was an opportunity for the Raiders to win based on the defensive side. Obviously, the 3 turnovers from the offense to put the defense back out on the field, those lead to losses. But take a look at this number, 37 games now straight with at least 1 sack.
All right.
That is the second longest active streak in the NFL. The pass rush, we did see it there at times tonight. We also saw Justin Herbert run a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Herbert's found his legs for sure in the first 2 games of the season that we have seen. But we talked about it with Devin White, the 2 big defensive stands inside the red zone. Holding them 1 for 3 inside the red zone was huge. Also, they held him to, under 60 yards rushing. I mean, Omarion Hampton is somebody that that Jim Harbaugh wants to get going.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was some key plays from Justin Herbert, some missed opportunity. They have good receivers. Keenan Allen had a good game. Quentin Johnson had a huge play that we'll break down in a little bit at the end of the half.
Guys, I think when we look back at this game at the end of the year, I think this is going to be one of those games where the Chargers are going to turn out to be a really good football team. They're there, right? They've had their coach for almost 2 years now. Jim Harbaugh has put that kind of fingerprints on that football team. They are right where they need to be. We need to get there, right? And it's going to take us a little bit of time for us to be able to battle a team that has outstanding coaching, outstanding players, a really good quarterback, and a good defense. So they're going to be able to get into situations and really benefit by those things because they already have their foundation laid. And I just thought us defensively did a good job. That first interception, you think, oh no, they stood tall. Made him kick a field goal. So I think this defense and Patrick Graham, they've really blended together with him and Pete, find out a way to be really successful. And I think when we look back at this, like I said earlier, I think this is going to be a loss, but it's going to be a loss that we think to a very good team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to come out of it. And when we played, there's 0 moral victories.
That's right. Yeah.
Pissed off in the locker room right now.
That's right.
But as we sit up here, this team just beat a team that was in the Super Bowl, in the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a really physical team. And you talk about 60 yards rushing.
It was 81, let me correct. 81
Quarterback
still.
had a couple of that in there. But when you talk about them trying to run the ball downhill with the 2 running backs, there was nowhere to go. So that should be encouraging. We are a physical defense. Played good defense last week. We are a physical defense. So it's a positive. We just did not play complimentary football.
Right.
Last week we did. Turn the ball over, we go score some points.
Yeah.
This week we get a takeaway or we get them off the field on 3rd down because our defense was really good on 3rd down. Got them off the field. I think they were 36% or something like that. And we did not capitalize. So just no complimentary football today, but some good stuff to come out this tape for sure.
And like we said, 317 yards they gave up passing. Justin Herbert. We're seeing Justin Herbert really emerge. For 6 years, we've been told, okay, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He really hasn't. He hasn't been a top 3 quarterback like his talent would expect. In this year, in the first 2 games, we have seen his ability, and I think that hurt the Raiders at times. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day, and when we come back, Geno Smith, he had a rough game. We have to be honest. He takes the podium next. We'll hear what he has to say. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back. As the Raiders lose this one on Monday Night Football, one of the big storylines was the performance of Geno Smith. After a week where he really had a breakout game, a down game, 150 yards passing. We'll talk about it, but let's go out to Geno Smith at the podium right now.
Your left. Quick question. In this offense, how much latitude do you have to audible?
I mean, given the play, I mean, it depends on which play it is, but I mean, you can audible any play at any down, but you want to do things in structure, things that you've practiced. So, we won't just go out there and just make audibles just to make them. Everything that we do is built in within the system, and I'm not sure why you asked that question, but that's pretty much, how we do it. Within the system, we like to make checks and stuff like that.
Geno, in terms of tonight, we asked Pete just about spot decision making, especially the ones where you took shots downfield. Can you just sort of summarize what took place and where you were at, in the game at the moment in taking those shots, especially the ones that got picked?
Yeah, the first play of the game was a play that we designed. We had an open guy, led him a little bit too far out front. Ball gets tipped up, gets interception. A play that obviously you want to have those plays back. You can't. I mean, it's the reality of it. Took a shot to Dante, before the half. I thought he had a safety on him. Thought he had a shot. I gave him a chance. Obviously, didn't work out in our favor. So again, those are things that I got to learn from and be better at. Anything that doesn't look right out there, you put that on my feet, put that on my shoulders. I feel like I got to be a lot better for our guys. I know I have to, and I will be. And then, the one to Jacoby, had a DB with his back turned. They were playing Tampa 2. Thought I could fit it in there. Obviously, we need to score 7 points in that situation. A field goal would have helped us, but, 7 points would have put us in a better position. Ball gets tipped up again. I thought I put it in a decent spot where our guy can make a play. Ball gets tipped up. They make a play on it, and, we don't get points. And so, I'm never going to make any excuses about anything. I've got to be better. We got to be better, and we got a short week to improve on that.
Geno, are you the type of quarterback that just flushed that game? It's kind of an unusual game for you, not up to your normal standards. Are you able to do that, or do you go back and watch it and learn from it? How do you kind of process and move on from a game like this?
No, I've got to learn from it. You know what I mean? This game's all about learning from your experiences, and this is a game, again, I've had similar games in the past where things that, the ball is bounced, in an unfortunate way, or, decisions haven't, I didn't make the best decision on a given play or the best throw. That's a part of the game, but you can never just say you can flush it. You got to learn from it. And so, I'm going to be super hard on myself, extremely hard on myself, because that's all I know. I'm going to get better this week. I'm going to find ways to get better from this film, and we'll be better as a team as well.
Geno, Pete talked about right here, he talked about how they covered and maybe didn't use the word surprise, but he seemed to say maybe they were a little better than even coming in. You thought, what did you think in terms of how they covered and how they played defense?
Yeah, it was on tape. Last year they had a top 10 defense. They played really well in the red zone. All the things that we saw on tape, we expected them to do. They're a 90% zone team. I think they probably did that today. They stuck to what they do. They play their stuff. They play it well. They communicate. They get out there. They fly around. Hats off to those guys for playing a tremendous game. But for us, man, we never underestimate anybody. We expect it's the NFL. All these guys are capable. They're all worthy to be out there. So we got to go out there and make plays, and today we didn't.
Geno right here in the middle. So, obviously between last week, you had one of the best games in the league last week, and you come into this game and obviously with this performance, was this a situation where you basically just kind of said that they made you play their game, so something along those lines? Did they do anything that they hadn't shown that maybe surprised you when you came?
No, I didn't think anything was a surprise out there. I just think the way that they play, the way that teams have been playing as of recent, there's going to be a lot of too high shells. There's going to be a lot of zone coverages. They're going to force offenses to be disciplined. And, if you don't run the ball consistently, if you don't, pass the ball efficiently, you're going to have a tough day. If you don't do well on third downs in the situations in the red zone, if you don't score touchdowns, they're counting on that, with their coverages. You're going to have a tough day. And so I think it all comes down to execution. I think that was the main thing. We executed well at some times, and then other times we didn't. Had a 21-play drive. We ended with 3 points. So you want to make sure that you're scoring touchdowns on teams like this. And, that's a championship team, and we're going to have championship teams every single week. We just got to get better and just focus and execute and go out there and play our game.
As far as the rushing attack, we asked Pete about Ashton. He said, hey, it's his second pro game. We got to bring him along. But on the whole, how important is it for this system and how you play to have that balance, and how quick do you need that to come into play to get the passing game going?
Yeah, we got to have balance, but we can pass on anybody. We know that. But it's not about what we can do in the pass game. It's about what we can do as an offense collectively. Again, balance is the key to anything, to offense. We got to run the ball when we need to. We got to pass the ball when we need to. And we got to be efficient in both. So we'll get better at it. We'll find ways to get better at it, find ways to be more efficient, and look towards the future. I think we got a lot of good things ahead of us. We just got to work at it.
Geno, this was your first home game being the Raiders starting quarterback. Can you give us your impressions of the stadium and the fans, please?
The fans were tremendous. I thought the atmosphere was great. Monday night game, first home game of the season. I thought it was awesome. I really wanted to get a win for the fans. Wanted to put on a better showing, obviously. But those are the things that we got to improve on, and we got to own home field. And so we're going to, make the proper adjustments and get right back to it. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
You don't want to oversimplify things, but anytime you turn the ball over 3 times, you're probably not going to win a game. So the 3 turnovers happen to be his 3 interceptions. Also, though, Geno just seemed off. For a guy that is super accurate and known for that, he threw the ball underthrows, overthrows, and that was something you and I saw pretty early on.
Against this football team, you have to execute and be on point. And he wasn't on point tonight. So hopefully, whatever the situation was, he's able to make those adjustments for teams like this, because there were some opportunities out there in some of those interceptions. You see that backside receiver kind of wide open, the back shoulder throws we didn't see this week. Very important that he execute and make sure that he's more on point next time we face a football team like this.
And this is why we brought Geno Smith here. We brought Geno Smith here to be in games like this. They defense balling, our defense balling. They quarterback play better than Geno. And that's all it came down to. We need Geno Smith to take care of the ball and make those plays. If he makes those plays, even the wide open receivers that he's missed, I'm okay with the opportunity passes down there. Used to tell Derek Carr all day, throw it up, I'll go get it. If not, ain't nobody, but at least you're gonna give me a chance. I'm cool with those, but the ones we're missing wide open people, that's why we brought you here. You're super accurate, make the throws, but if he would have played better, this would have been a really, really close game because our defense did their job.
No doubt about it. It'd be great to have Brock Bowers healthy as well. You could tell he really wasn't himself out there. All right, we're going to have more for you coming up. Raiders Game Day. Stick with us. More on the loss, 20-9 to the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Twitch, watch, discover, join in.
Favorable schedule.
I'll tell you, Raider Nation was out in full effect at Allegiant Stadium, and we have one of the most opinionated fan bases, and always good to check in to see some of the voices of the nation, of Raider Nation. Here are some of the tweets that came out on X. This is from JT the Brick.
JT.
He said, that was literally I'll do it in my JT voice. That was literally a gift from Harbaugh to call those last 2 plays. Now throw it in the end zone. Raider Nation. That was the turnover at the end. Look at they were in the game. Here's Paul Gutierrez, death taxes. Greg Olson on the Raiders coaching staff. And Daniel Carlson, good for a field goal. This one from 54 yards. Always good to have the long-range guy on your team.
PG.
And then Levi Edwards over on Raiders.com. He said, Ashton hit that get off me on Aloha Gilman. He did.
Yes, he did.
He really did. And then he also, remember what he did to Derwin James? Levi saw it. He said, Ashton Genty did Derwin like that? He said, whoop, spin. See that spin move?
Yeah.
Here are those plays that they're talking about. There you go. Ran right over.
There you go. Man, he didn't even.
Aloha was like, I don't know what happened to me.
Get like that ball right there.
Got you.
Spin. Derwin.
There you go. A little balance.
Look at that.
Straight arms.
See,
Derwin had a heck of a game, though.
Derwin did. We haven't even talked about their secondary.
He tried to trip him right there, though.
Yeah, those plays were pretty phenomenal. But Ashton Genty, it was good to see those little moments, right? We need to see more.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. This team needs to get a run game going if they're going to be a play, action, pass kind of a team and have explosive plays. But Ashton Genty, what did you see from him tonight, JJ?
I need more. And I need more touches.
Yes.
Like, I was listening to Pete's press conference, and, he's like, we're going to get him going.
Yeah.
He ain't been injured. Let's get him rolling. Give him carries. He's a young running back. Give him some carries. Get him in the pass game. Let's get him going. Because to be honest with you, when we see plays like that, to see more of that, you have to get in the rhythm of the game if you're a running back. Right. You know what I mean? And if you're not in the rhythm of the game, it's going to be tough to continue to see plays like that. He's too good of a player to not touch the ball 20-plus times.
11 carries.
Yeah,
That's it.
I thought we'd be able to take advantage of the game we had last week. When you see that on film, you see the shots going downfield, and you have the opportunity, Let's find out if we can kind of get a spread-looking offense, and then, bam, that box is light, handing the ball, let him do his thing. So hopefully in the next couple games, we're able to get him on third down and getting the ball out the backfield.
No doubt.
So now some one-on-one stuff with him and the linebacker, him and the safety. We can see some of that spinning, that juking, things that he can do.
Also want to see Raheem Mostert get healthy. I
Yes.
would love to see
That's some
what they
most
intended to be the two-punch.
Right,
Two
right.
punch.
He
He
has
gets
that
healthy.
speed.
Yeah,
Yes, he
that'd be
does.
nice to see him back. He hasn't
Yeah.
played the first 2 games. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, some breakdowns from JJ and EA spotlighting some of the highlights of the game. That's coming up next on Raiders Game Day. Or non-highlights, like that one. Welcome back. There were 2 key issues in the Raiders' loss to the Chargers 20-9 tonight on Monday Night Football. One was giving up 2 big plays that changed the direction of the game. Also, Geno Smith's 3 turnovers. There were some issues with Geno Smith and his play after a great game in the first week. To break it all down, let's turn it over to JJ and EA.
All right, Amber, here we go. Usually we have just great tape on our guys defensively, and they played a great game. But I just want to show you a little bit of why the Chargers are so hot right now. Justin Herbert playing at a really high level.
Very
When you
high
give the
level.
guy time, and the old crafty vet receiver is able to kind of get it done here. First, we're going to see he's in the slot here, and usually in the slot, you get pressure on the quarterback, make him step up, and you're good. But see the pressure, you get up above him, he steps up in the pocket with his mobility, with his legs, and then the old crafty vet finds a way to toe tap in the end zone, and that's over and over. Those situational plays that you see, you have to win the situations. We were not able to win this situation here in the red zone, which is so important. And this one here, this is amazing because usually in this formation, you're thinking corner, he's going to go cross side, right? But he does a great job. They designed his play to take the safety and have one-on-one. So here, we're looking from another way. Justin Herbert playing at a really high level. But you see here, you think this guy's going to go all the way across. So the corner is going to point him across like, hey, cross, and I'm going to steal one from this guy coming back. You see that point? And now he's one-on-one with the safety. Just a great design. Look at you over smiling over there, JJ. Just a great design of a play getting it done, and that's why the Chargers make those big plays.
Fame jacket, man, you know what I'm saying? But that's the type of plays we need to dial up for our offense. But right here, this is just missed opportunities, man. Geno Smith did not have his best outing out here today. You see him miss Brock Bowers right there. And then right here, hey, we have some dudes that can run routes too. Right. Some play calls that we can dial up too. You see a similar play call here too. You see him coming on the deep over. He's going to come back over. Geno, you are accurate. You are very accurate. You got to get this ball down and get this on Jacoby. And then right here, this is a heck of a play by Derwin James. But if we put this ball on Jacoby's back shoulder, we're able to react to this ball. But you throw it straight down the middle and you force Jacoby to go up over Derwin James, that's a tough catch. If I'm running down the middle, EA, and you put that thing here.
You're able to make that catch?
That's a touchdown, dog.
Are you able to make that catch, though?
Right now. Right now. But if we make those, we'll be in good shape. But it's some positive stuff on tape.
Definitely some positives.
Geno Smith is too good for this. He's too accurate for that. And if he makes those throws, we're in this ball game. Might even win the ball game.
That's right.
So we correct that. We'll be back in the W column. Back to you, Amber.
I don't know. JJ might have made those catches. Just put them out there once. See what happens. Check out one big number. Brock Bowers now has 122 receptions in his first 20 games, and that is the 4th most receptions through the first 20 games of NFL history. So even injured, he got in there. Yep. He got in there and made some receptions in the Super Bowl era.
Gracious.
I mean, we're not going back to the 1880s, EA, but it's the Super Bowl era. I think
I was balling. I was a rookie in 1880.
That's right.
I was balling out
First
there.
year, man. You had a big year.
Good players in that Super Bowl era.
Well, one of the things that I thought really determined this game, and that you see why the Chargers, you have a feeling they're going to be in it in the AFC when it all comes down to it, is they have a heck of a secondary. And Derwin James and company just continuously made plays. Why did they, from a defensive back standpoint, what did you see from them?
They were sticky. That's what we call it. They were sticky.
Sticky.
You know, doing a lot of too high stuff, but it just seemed like they understood the route combinations that we were running. And every time you threw the ball across the field from maybe the hash to the numbers, those corners all on it, getting plays, breaking up balls. I just thought they had a really good feel of what we were trying to do early on in the game and really successful on the outside edges of our football team.
Well, we know Coach Harbaugh's team is going to play some defense. The main reason why this team is going to be good is because of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert, the first 2 weeks, he making all the right plays.
He is.
And it ain't just arm. He is making big-time plays with his legs. You see him close out Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs with a 20-yard run with his legs. You seen him today get outside the pocket and make some really good throws and pick up some yards with his legs. If he continues to play like this, the Chargers are going to be a tough outing for a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I love the way my defense played against Justin Herbert today.
Yeah.
I think we made it hard on him. Obviously, those 2 plays that you showed, we wish we could have them back. We can't, but they got something to hang their hat on for sure.
Some of the big plays from Justin Herbert also came from on third down when he would go outside the pocket and use his legs. And the Raiders are going to have to figure out how to contain quarterbacks like that, because coming up, they've got maybe Jaden Daniels. We don't know if Jaden is going to play or not with the Commanders because he was injured, but he can move. Patrick Mahomes, they got Caleb Williams and the Bears coming up. And just
but Amber, tell them the difference between all those quarterbacks you said and Herbert, how big he is when you stand next to that
We
dude.
were talking about this in the car.
Goodness.
I was out at Chargers training camp, and I saw him. I stood next to him. He's about 6'6".
Yes.
You don't know how big he is.
Dude.
And he's big and he can move.
Yes.
But still, I mean, with all those quarterbacks, I mentioned Bo Nix as well, they can all move. And you got to find a way to keep them inside the pocket and not extend those plays and be able to get first down. So some things to tighten up on. Overall, a really good defensive performance. The offense that was so explosive in week 1 kind of regressed a little bit, but there's some things that they can work on as well. We're going to take a break. More to come here on Raiders Game Day as the Raiders lose this one 20-9, but it was a heck of an opener. Always a show at Allegiant Stadium. Got him out there. Look at the Raiderettes.
Turn up, hey.
Always on point. There's no place like it. Welcome back. It wasn't the outcome the Raiders wanted for their home opener, but Allegiant Stadium is always a party with the best entertainment in all of sports. Take a look at some of the in-stadium entertainment. It all started off with the national anthem. Michelle Williams, she sang that thing. She sang that thing.
I had to give her a high five after she was walking in the tunnel.
I mean, wow. She was 1/3 of Destiny's Child. You know, I don't know who Beyonce was after listening to her.
Blowing like that?
Yeah, she was. She was pretty amazing. So a great rendition of the national anthem. And look who lit the torch. It's the Summerlin South Little League U.S. champion team.
Right. Congratulations, guys.
Way to go, boys. So proud of you.
That's a lot of baseball you
That's
played.
a lot.
But y'all
and
did
then
it before me.
Lil Jon, Grammy Award winning rapper. He did the halftime show. And of course, the Raiderettes. They always bring it behind them.
Yeah.
That's a clean jacket.
That is a clean jacket. How do we get one of those?
Man, we can't even light the
Marcus.
torch. We ain't gonna get no
jacket.
He's still trying to light the torch. After all that time. Look, Raider fans are the best in all of football.
It was awesome.
It was great to be back at Allegiant.
Yes.
And look, they'll get a win the next time that they're there. Monday Night Football, though, it was excitement.
Oh, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, we saw Violator and all the great fans out there. All right, here are the next 3 games coming up for the Raiders as they look to bounce back. They're now 1-1. And they got the Commanders coming up as they go to the East Coast to play them. Don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play or not. He was injured yesterday. And then they come back home to face Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah.
The Bears.
Oh, yeah.
That
The Bears,
is a winnable game.
They better be ready.
And hey, the Colts have been interesting this
what's
year.
going on with Danny Dimes?
Yeah, the Colts.
balling out.
Daniel Jones has been.
Our defense is gonna get after them.
That's right. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing the Colts can bring.
I'm confident about this football team. I really am confident about this.
It really is a different feel.
It really is.
It is, for sure. They were in it until the last drive, as you said, JJ. They didn't give up. The defense played very well. Just got to get the running game going, limit the turnovers.
Yes.
But the thing is, it feels all fixable. If there's the number one thing, if you were the coach and you're going back and you have to say there's one thing we have to focus on starting tomorrow on Tuesday, what do you think it is?
Well, you got to be efficient. You can't turn the ball over. As you say, the time of possession is important, but the turnovers are obviously what we have to work on right now.
Remember I told y'all, man, I was sleeping a lot of meetings. Coach said turnover battle. That is something that I listen to because that is huge. If you do not win the turnover battle, you don't win the game.
Yeah.
And our quarterback is better than that. He's better than that. And we know that. We've seen him play better than that. And he'll bounce back, and we'll be in a lot of these football games. But it is a different feel because even when it was 6 minutes left, 20 to I'm like, we're going to win this game.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a different feel. Kudos to them putting the work in.
Also got to see the defense force some more turnovers.
Yeah.
We know what we saw in the last game, Isaiah Polamau's interception, how much that just changed the entire game. So that's something that's definitely huge.
And I also want to see us play with some leads. You seen Max Crosby last week in the very first game. We were up in that game. You see him able to change that game, right? Tip in, get an interception and all that. If we can get some leads so he can get after the quarterback, that's what I want to see.
And we got to get all the receivers involved. You know, I want to see more Dante Thornton for sure. I know they took some shots to Trey Tucker early on, but just if Brock Bowers can get healthy. But you said use more 2 tight end sets.
Yeah, I would love to see that to be able to run the ball, get Genty going a little bit. We got everything we need offensively.
Chip's going. I have confidence in Chip. I really do.
If not, I'm out to come up here with Tom. Meet with Chip and Tom. I get them right.
I think.
All on Tom. All right. Well, the Raiders lose this one. They look to bounce back next week against the Commanders. Stick with us all week on all the Raiders platforms for all the latest. For Eric Allen, James Jones, I'm Amber Theoharis. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.